I spend a lot of time on YouTube and watching all kinds of things. But something that I've seen a lot of in the last few years, I really started seeing them a lot around lockdown, were these reaction videos of people listening to music, like unlikely people, like really young people listening to some old, rock thing, some Rolling Stones song or something that they had never heard or never even heard of, the Rolling Stones or Beatles or whatever. And there's a whole ton of that stuff on YouTube of people listening to stuff for the first time. And most of it is just terrible. Some of it's great. There's stuff like, there's a woman who does this channel and it's like, watch a classical musician listen to this Doors song, and then she'll take it apart and in very cool ways, actually. Singing stuff where people take apart the singing in certain songs and what people are doing or how incredibly good they are at singing, like, watching a thing about Karen Carpenter, and how incredible she was and how she just hit the notes. And there's this one guy, Pegasus, I think is his name, who does these really cool singing analysis things. Anyway, reaction videos. Today, I was on yesterday and I was going to do a thing, and then I said I'm not going to do the thing because I was basically, I was in a hospice vigil with a friend of mine whose mom was alive last night but isn't alive any longer. And on top of that, that sounds terrible. On top of that, it's my dad's birthday. So, and I thought that I was going to do, I thought I knew I was going to do for my dad's birthday. And it was a story about my dad that has to do with my teeth, actually. And I had been wanting to sort of tell this story to get it out. And I just thought better of it on his birthday. So I kind of just said, no, I won't do that. And then I had the idea of doing a reaction video. I did a couple of songs, music pieces for my dad on his birthday a couple of times, and he didn't know quite what, my dad liked music a lot and everything, but he didn't quite know what to make of these things that I did. Anyway, the first one is pretty cool, and so I'm going to listen to it. You're going to watch me listen to it. Actually, hang on. You're going to watch me listen to it while I eat a protein bar. Anyway, this is a thing I did about, not sure exactly what year it was. It's about 15 years old. I've done a couple since then. I do them for people's birthdays. I've done a couple since then because I've made a bunch of recordings for just other people and their birthdays. It's just the thing I like to do. So I did a couple since then. This was the first one I did, so it's kind of a big production. Anyway, I'm going to put it on and eat a protein bar. Let's see. Oh, I left a little stuff on at the end. Um, that was really, really interesting to hear. When I got the idea to do this video, it's because I thought of this and I thought I haven't listened to that in a long time. So I put it on for a second and then I didn't listen to the whole thing until now. And it's interesting because I worked on that a lot, and I mean that it took me a few days to do that. It's lots, and you can, if you listen to it on the actual video that I post, I'm going to put the actual song on there so that you can hear it. If you're listening on good speakers, it's pretty cool. And it's neat to hear because I'm happy with it. It was neat, but I don't want to I don't want to rag on my dad here. But it's interesting to hear it because it does bring up all of that stuff. I can't help it. He liked it, but he also didn't understand it. It was like this weird hillbilly thing. Probably be shorter. And I think that most of the things that I do that are like birthday things tend to be shorter because that thing is like 4 minutes. It's like almost 4 minutes long. It's a lot. It's kind of interesting to remember how much work I put into it. And I remember when I was doing it, I was working on a project with a friend of mine. And for a couple of days, I was bringing in like, oh, well, here's where it is today, and here's where it is today. When I think about listening to this in terms of the video that I originally intended to record, I'm listening to a thing that I did. So I'm listening to a thing that I did, and I'm remembering doing it, and it's a while ago. So there's that. There's just sort of, there's that. He appreciated it. I think that this has been a really interesting day. It's been an intense day. There's no getting around that. My friends and his mom and having been there last night, and this is somebody that I'd never met. So I'm meeting her a day before she's gone. And all you can really know is that they're not here. And so, you can think about how it was when they were here. And I think about how it was when my dad was here. And it was complicated. It was very complicated. But I guess there's no way of thinking about what I saw and what I'm seeing a friend of mine go through without thinking about it on my dad's birthday, because my dad's not alive on his birthday. And there's a lot of stuff here, I think, in the video that I've cut out because I just kept hitting these walls of I don't know what to talk about or know what to say, and was this a good idea? I think it was. Because mostly it really makes me remember good things. And I have to say mostly.